Hello guys, it's Paula and we're back to do a Christmas in July project today. And I was thinking that in our journals that we're going to be making coming up in December, that we need, a lot of things to put in them. So we always enjoy putting in the library cards. So I found these. These are the ones I showed you in my last video. They are self-adhesive, so I did kind of pull that back and ink around everything. So this is where we're going to start. Now, I have several different things I want us to do. Like, for one, I got to do something with this little car. I just think it's adorable. And he would look really cute on here, or she, depending on which one we think it is. And we're going to decorate this lower portion and at least this top portion of the library card. So I'm thinking I've, got stuff I've cut out of old magazines. And, they're all in the vintage age, the magazines that I pull from. And I'm thinking, trying to get this one straight because I just used my scissors in the book and not the actual. So I thought we'd do something with these two old vintage pictures. Maybe. We'll see. And maybe put the Christmas tree up here. We might have to bring it down a little bit. So that's one of them I've thought about. This one. And then maybe put the Merry Christmas here at the top. But we need something for a background. Let's just start with this one. How about that? Got to start somewhere, right? So I'm thinking in most of these, on most of these, I would like to just cover this background as best we can. Now, as you know, these are, like I said, they're all down in a situation where we can't really cut around them, right? So I'm thinking that we'll do like this and try to get, I'm trying to get it to kind of line up right here. See if we can get that to happen. And then if we can get it to line up on one side, I can pull up the other side, and yeah, that would help. Now this is going to be hard for you to see, this portion. I'm going to pull this sheet back and I'm going to draw around exactly how this would fit. Okay, we're just going to use this little wood grain as a background. We actually used it in something the other day, I believe. It's hard to keep track of it, but I thought it would be a cute background. Okay, so now we don't have to mess with that anymore. So we're just going to, and I left my other trimmer in the other room again. That's all right. We're going to just use this to cut a straight line because obviously I can't do that. So we're just going to cut it like that. And then I'll curve the edges. I don't want to do them with a punch because they may not come out as great, as we would like them to. So I'm just going to trim around the corners. I hope you guys are enjoying the Christmas in July season. Christmas in July craft season is what I meant to say. And in our case, we're crafting for journals. So for December dailies. And, I'm going to be doing a few things along the way. This way, but not till it gets a little closer. But we'll go through the month of July for sure. Okay, so we want to ink everything as it becomes a portion of the book, just the outer edges. It doesn't have to be a major amount, just enough that we can use it in our, let's see what this is going to look like. I might have to trim. Oh, no, that worked. It's going to be very flush with the background. And boy, that is flush, isn't it? Got that perfect. What's the odds of that? Woohoo! Okay, so down here, I'm trying to think, do we want to use the wood grain like it's, you know, I don't know. Just, it'll look good in the background of the card here, I think. I wish the print on the card was green instead of blue, but we'll deal with it. We'll work with it. Okay, so down here, I'm thinking either black background. No, because we're going to have a black on this. That's going to look cute, but we need to do something with this background. So I'm thinking we can either do like blue snowflakes. You guys just look at it and try to send me your thoughts. Only will have to do it this way. And that kind of goes with the blue in the card. I kind of like that, guys. Or we have the lighter greenish blue, which I don't think I like as much because of the Merry Christmas. I hope you guys can see okay. Nope, that one's not going to work. Let me see if there's any more here in my stack. Oh, here's one. We might like this one better. This probably will work much better. Yeah, I like it better. So what we have to do now is figure out what size to cut this. So we might have to do the same sort of thing where we kind of hold it in place, and we could, instead of drawing around it this time, we could, sorry, I'm concentrating and talking at the same time. You know how some people, I can't jump rope and walk at the same time kind of thing. So that is where we need to cut it, right there and right here. So let's see if we can just cut it and get the right square. If not, we've got more paper. Okay, so this doesn't have to be difficult. You know, we can just do our own thing. And now I'm going to turn it the other way. This is what I like about Christmas. You know, everything can be so playful and fun and not complicated necessarily. And that's one of the things I like, is that we can make whatever we want and get away with it. You know, if you like a certain thing at Christmas and if it looks childlike, that's okay. And so, how that one didn't come out square is probably that trimmer. You know how sometimes trimmers are not perfect. But everything came out on it except this back portion. So let's just kind of trim this off a little bit. See what? It's just a tiny bit on one side. I don't even know if it's going to be worth trimming. Well, then I just moved it, so that's not cool. Let me try that one more time. Give me seconds. Okay. All right. So it's just right here, a little tiny bit. Well, doggone it. I may have to trim it after I put it on. I'm not too sure about it. Okay. There we go. Okay, there we go. Cooperate with me, please. Good grief. Let's turn it back over. And I feel like it moved when I did that. So we're going to put it on after we ink it, and then we'll decide from there what needs to be trimmed. It's such a small amount, but to me it makes just a little bit, makes it look, you know, kind of shabby. Whoa! Just dropped my little sponge. Okay, so this is where we're going to put this. So let's get our glue. And let's get this on. Takes a minute for this to come down after it's been overnight. So last night, in the last video I showed you guys, which was last night, I showed you the haul that I got from my surprise from my sister. And yeah, she surprised me by taking me to the scrapbook, or the stamping and scrapbook convention type thing. It's more like a retreat to me. You don't sleep there unless you stay in the hotel, but we stayed at her house. And it was sure nice. It really, really was nice. So now we're gonna, now I brought back a bunch of goodies and I showed you guys all those goodies. Well, I did finish one of the little tiny 4x4. I'll show it to you before I put it away until I can get the pictures gathered. Okay. Get that where I want it. And then we're going to trim it. Trim it, trim it. Okay, this side's fine. I tell you, it's hard to see some of this. Let me make sure we're all straight. There we are. Let's make sure we're all, it's showing that we're straight on here now. That's so crazy. It was sticking out earlier. So I guess we're good. Good, good, good. All right, we got it on there just like we wanted it. And so, yeah, I like the way that looks. Now I'm thinking with this, and I don't have my fussy cutting scissors. I don't like all that white. I think it's too much. So I'm going to use these little scissors I never fussy cut with, and we'll see what happens. Now, I'm going to try to get as close to the little car without getting white in the white space. And hope this doesn't bore you guys. I should have done this ahead of time, but I just now thought of it. Looking at it, I was like, Hope you guys had a great weekend. It is Monday morning, or close to noon by now. And I slept good last night because I was so exhausted. And my body's barking at me today. You know, just aches and pains that an old person gets from all the walking. And I have problems with my hips and of course, I've had 5 knee surgeries. So there you go. That ought to tell you a lot. But I mean, we did travel and do a lot of walking back and forth from here to there, and it seems like everything's a mile away from each other. Now, I'm not doing an absolute perfect job here. I'm just doing the best I can. Like, I really messed up that tire. I cut short on that, so I'll try to fix it. I doubt I'll do any good. Yeah, it'll be okay. If I hadn't told you, you might not have noticed. Maybe. We just got to make them look similar. Yeah. I have a pair of scissors that I fussy cut with. I should have remembered to bring them in here because that was a big part of what I was going to do with this. But somebody distracted me and had to go OUT. And that took a little bit. And then by the time I came back, I forgot about it. So, sorry guys. I'll torture you through my fussy cutting. Okay, so then we've got a little stem on the tree. Almost done, or more than half done. Yeah, almost done. Okay. Okay, there we go. Sorry I was so quiet, but you know when you fussy cut, it's like you gotta hold your mouth just right. You know, you gotta hold still in order to make it look this fabulous. No, it's not fabulous, but it'll work. And so I'm gonna ink all the edges because, you know, when you cut into it like the paper, you usually get these white edges that seem to want to stand out. So, yeah, darken our windows a little bit. And we can also take our white pen, Uniball pen, if I can find one that is actually, that one looks completely empty. It's going in the trash. You ever wonder why you hang on to some things? So I'm thinking on here we can use a little white detail. But maybe we should glue it down first. Let's do that. Let's glue it down first and then go from there. So I'm just going to use my Fabri-Tac today. It's so slow coming out. I need to make the hole bigger. You know how that is. All right. I think we got that where we need it to be. There we go. Traveling to grandmother's house. Well, it would be Grammy's house around here. Going to Grammy's house. All right, just get this little bit of glue that's trying to come out and destroy my tree. Let me get my new little, I tell you, I think this is different, or maybe I don't remember that mine was this flimsy until it got older. It does take a little getting used to when it's a new one, because mine has gotten so, but it still works. The packaging looked the same as when I bought this one, so I was assuming it was the same one, and it probably is. It's probably just me. All right, so there we have our car. And I thought we could add a little bit. Anytime you have a Uniball and you want to make sure, you want to get it going, get the stuff coming down, that's the best way to do it. I'm just going to do some, you might not even be able to see them on camera, just some kind of window streaks. Yeah, right there. Okay, now also I want to put a little tiny bit of, there's not a handle on the door and it kind of bugs me, so I'm going to put a little handle right here. Yeah, there you go. All right, now this part is all complete. Now, I like the way that turned out. How about you? I think what we're going to do is go ahead and use the same paper across right here for the background. And make sure not to cover up where it says date and issued to. So, I'm going to hold it and trim around it. Keep your fingers crossed that I don't mess up. We do have more paper though. Sometimes I wonder how I made it through art class not being able to cut perfectly straight. I do better if I use my trimmer. Trying to get it just a smidgen off of there. Okay, perfect. Perfect, perfect. Let's ink it. So you're kind of limited as to what you can decorate your library cards with because, you know, you only have certain size space to work with. And so that's, you got to take that into consideration. So I'm going to put it right here. Get that Fabri-Tac back out here. Come on, I need to get a, I keep forgetting to get a cup to put my Fabri-Tac in. And I have them all over the place, but they all have something in them. So, come on. All right, so that's covering the top of our library card as a background, like a snowy background. And it's really the right color because it has, you know, this color is kind of creamy, and so it works better that way. Now I'm going to ink my little Merry Christmas. Let's see, what would it look like if we did Merry Christmas? No, I think I just want to do Merry. I was thinking about putting a ticket behind it, but I don't think it would look good because this is such a perfect fit for this area. Now, I think we could pop it up on some foam dots, and I have them somewhere close by. I'm saying that like maybe I have them somewhere close by. I've been working on these albums, and so yeah, let's see what we can do here to make them, make it look better. I don't know, you know, if I were doing it, I would probably, like, if I were doing it again and I had everything right by me, it'd make it easier. I could have used some smaller, or not smaller, but thinner foam tape, and then it wouldn't have been quite as tall as this one's going to be. You're probably thinking, tall, what are you talking about? Well, there's a depth to these. And I use more than the average person because it's been my experience, and it was my experience in a class this past weekend, that when you don't really fill the areas, it's going to sink in. And I don't like that look. I'm sure you guys feel the same way. So I'm trying to hurry here so we can move on to number 2. I was hoping we could get 5 done, but if we don't, no biggie. We'll get them done later. So, does anybody remember last year's Christmas in July? Do you remember what we made? Does anybody remember what we made? I don't know, but I'm saying if you can remember anything from Christmas in July or Christmas in general that you'd like to repeat this year, just let me know. And if I have the stuff to do it, we can do it again. All right, so now we've got a library card that's kind of top heavy, but I like the way it looks. Now, I just had some rickrack here. Now, I don't know if this is going to look good or not, but I was thinking maybe we could put some rickrack up here. I kind of don't want it to just be super bare, you know. And we might decide we want to put 2. So there's how 1 looks. And this is how 2 would look. I like the 2. How about you? And I think instead of putting glue on it, you know, because glue will just get blobby at this point on rickrack, at least. Putting the pin back in this. I'm sorry. I'll just leave it for now. Okay, so I'm going to run these through my Xyron sticker maker because I like that it will just hold it right down for me. Now, I wouldn't do it if it was super long because then, you know, see, I'm just doing like this. Going to put it down in there. Just want to make sure the right side's up. And then you want to keep it down in the hole so that it can pull. When you start pulling, if you don't see them both start pulling, you know you got to redo it. Okay. Just rub over your object on here pretty good and around the sides of it, because that helps it to not have so much sticky on the paper or on the object. You can do this with anything paper, of course. You can do it with ribbon and lace, but you know, it costs more to use this than it would to just glue it on or use double-sided tape. Okay, I'm going to turn it sideways. Put it right here. Make sure it's going on straight, and we can trim any excess off. See how easy it just becomes a sticker? We just stick it on here and make sure it's straight. Yeah. We could have even put the message, the Santa or Merry Christmas message on up here and put the rickrack on the lower one, but just wanted to be different because it just seemed like it fit right there, you know? And so, okay. There we go. Now you could also add red or green gem on there. Let's see. Listen, I don't have all my Christmas little gems next to me, but look, there's 2 little red ones. But I also have these. I'm going to have to restock all my stuff when it comes to, my fingers are not working right. Sorry. This thing's so tiny. Let's see if I can get just a tiny amount of glue out of here. I really doubt it. Oh, you know what? I think I'll use my glitter glue. It'll be easier, right? Okay. Hold on. It's not that easy when it's so tiny. Now, we can put these anywhere. Maybe. Let's just put it right there. It's going to go right above the holly. I'm just going to put one just to give it a little sparkle. Give it a little bit of love. All right, guys. Now this one is complete. Tell me what you think. Looks like we're only going to get 2 out of the deal, doesn't it? We're at 31 minutes. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just slow. We might have to do a second video. Okay, so now we're going to move on and do the next one. So I'm thinking what I've been doing is I will take old magazines that are outdated, you know, the copyright's old on them, and I've been taking them and using them, you know, to do something like this, just whatever I want. Now, I have 2 things I can do here. I can do the gingerbread house that I cut out of an old not ideas book. Oh, what was the name of that book? Just an old Christmas magazine. And these are just some die cuts here. So I was thinking this would be pretty with a snow background as well. But maybe we should go with this one. How would it look on there? See, that color is different, so that would look good. Or we can use this blue. I think I like the blue. I think I'm liking the blue. So let's put the snowman to the side. We can do that later if we decide to. And the Santa, we can do that later. Let's do the gingerbread house. Now we're going to measure down here and get our snowflake paper on, just like we did before. I hadn't decided on any of this paper before the video because I was so busy just trying to get things together for the video. I had a pencil. There it is. Here's where it should cut, right there. And over here, right there. So let's get that part done first and then get the gingerbread house on. And that will make it go a little faster maybe. But now I got to find my marks. There's this mark. Right there. So let's find the other mark for the height. Let's see, I think it's right there. Okay, so let's see. Let's get some ink on here. Now this blue background is going to look good with the blue text, right? Okay. Let's make sure this is straight. And it's not. You know, that cutter is not as reliable as my other cutter or trimmer, whatever you want to call it. So I'm going to trim it a little bit right now. There we go. That looks better. Trying to speed along here. Okay. We're going to glue that down on this portion, and it will be our background. Okay. Come on. How slow can you go? Pretty slow. Awesome. Okay, now I put this down on our background. Sorry, I'm just so quiet. Don't mean to be. When I concentrate sometimes, my brain can't do two different things. Getting some glue right there that kind of seeped out. Awesome. Now I'm thinking, how do we want to, I don't want all that white around it, so I think what I'm going to do is tear it. Let's see what happens when we tear. Hopefully it doesn't tear through anything. If it does, we'll move on to the snowman one. I just thought I'd tear instead of cut. That way it wouldn't look so, you know, perfect. Nobody wants anything to look perfect, right? I think I'm the opposite of that. I do like things perfect, and that's hard for me to shake. You know, because, you know, junk journals are supposed to be a little on the junky side, right? Okay. Just using my fingernails to guide this. I'm putting it over the line of where I don't want it to, I want it to be outside that line. So if I put my fingernails there, see, and cover the image along the edge, I can go around it and not cut into it or tear into it, I guess I should say. Yeah, so there we go. I like the way that tore, don't you? Now we will have to ink around it, but I'm thinking that that looks really cute. Now, do I want it off to the side? And then add a little gingerbread person. I'm trying to get my fingers around the gingerbread person. Or a cookie cutter. No, I don't like the cookie cutter. It's too big. So let's ink this. We know we want this on here, right? So we're going to ink it. There we go. So let's go ahead and just put it in the center, and then we'll put our little gingerbread people on the top somehow. Come on out. I don't usually get into gingerbread houses and stuff like that. My kids and I didn't, you know, we didn't really do that with our kids. It wasn't done with me when I was a child, so it wasn't something that felt natural, I guess I should say. All right. It is kind of floating, but that's okay. It is a handmade item, right? I didn't want it all the way to the bottom. It just didn't seem like that's what I'd want. Okay, so we've got our little snowflake and background and our gingerbread house. Now, on here, I think we should use the same paper as the background, right? Because I just like the way that looks. So, let me get my little pencil. Oops, I'm back here out of the way, aren't I? I'm sorry, guys. Okay, make sure you line up the top. And right there. So we'll see if this thing can do better this time. I'm not impressed so far. Okay. You have to always make sure this handle's all the way back. You put it back till it just stops. Make sure your paper is straight in the trimmer. I haven't been paying much attention to that part, and that's probably why I haven't got a perfect cut each time. And honestly, I don't know a trimmer that around that does give you an absolute perfect trim. Okay. Gonna ink it. So, my daughter, as I've told you before, is going to be in Mamma Mia. She's playing Meryl Streep's part, for those of you that watched the movie. And so they've started working on some different things. So they had her go have her hair colored a certain color. So they're going to take her darker than she is. So she'll have more of a black hair than Meryl Streep had a blondish, sandy color. So not everything will be identical, you know, as far as costumes and stuff goes. They're making it their own, but they're using all the original script and music. Okay. I think there's songs in the show that weren't in the movie, or in the play that weren't in the movie. So, you know, sometimes they do that. Okay. Now, get this straight across here. And that is done. So it looks like it's on there nice and straight. So I'm thinking that we should put a gingerbread up here, a gingerbread man. I kind of like the one with candy cane because it has candy cane here. So let's use that one. And again, it's got a lot of white around it. So I'm going to get rid of some of that. Doesn't have to be perfect. There can be a little bit of white, but just, I'll try to keep a little bit of white so I don't cut into the image. If I had my other scissors, man, I have started fussy cutting so much that I can whiz right through it, but these scissors aren't as easy as my other scissors. Come on, come on, come on. Go around, go around. All right. This part will be interesting because it's way up in there. So I'm going to start over here and save it for last, right? Try to save the hard stuff for last. I think on the die cuts that you get with scrapbooking kits and so forth, I think they just have a tendency to leave the white edge too big. Doesn't need to be that big, but I'm sure it makes their job a lot easier. when stamping and so forth. All right, so that portion is done, except right up in here. Let's get up there and get it. This is not easy inside this candy cane without my little tiny scissors, but I think it'll be fine. It is like not wanting to curve in there without tearing something, and I'm like, no, we're not going to tear this. It's the only one we've got with the candy cane. One more little nip there, and we'll cover it up with, we'll cover up what's left with ink, right? Okay, so get my little ink out here. Get up in there and try to cover up the white edge. These little tiny things are crazy for me to hang on to and to maneuver. So I managed to get it done. It's just harder. Okay, so I'm going to get my, this is how crazy I am. You guys, right now, you're fixing to see how crazy I am. This is another pair of little scissors that I got many years ago. They're called fine pointed scissors. And they're by Elizabeth somebody. Elizabeth, I can't make it out. It's about worn off. It's the same lady that I got the stamps from. But see, it has little tiny. And you do like this instead of trying to hold them like scissors. And this motion is easier for me. So when I do my fussy cutting, I used to fussy cut with this, but it takes longer. But if you need to get into little tiny areas, this is perfect. Okay, there we go. We got it done. Bring out the fine cut scissors. Fine pointed scissors, I guess I should say. Okay, so we can put this on here, which I think looks pretty good. I'm actually going to bring it down a little bit because, you know, people can go down an extra line. So I'm going to run this through my Xyron also because it's just too little to try to get glue on it appropriately. So I'm just putting it down in there. And there we go. Rub it. Take it out of this. And let's see. Come on, cooperate. So I don't have any blue or white ribbon. Well, I have some lace. Let me see if it will work. That's close by my desk is what I was going to say. Okay, so let's pull it out of there. So we make sure we get it in the right spot. I don't want it to have anything hanging off, especially that candy cane that's just barely there. Cute, right? I love that. I'm thinking we need something up here though. So let me grab my lace, my white lace or cream color lace. And we'll put that on there. Let me see what else I've got that might work. I'm looking over here at the side, guys. Nothing there. Nothing here on this side. Okay, well, I think we should just go with the cream color here at the top because it's pretty cream itself, right? Okay, and we might have to put 2. Do like this. Just want this to be the upright position here. And it's going to work out perfect because this is the exact size. You don't have to take any. Uh-oh, something just fell in the trash. Oh, hold on. It's my new digitals. I hope they didn't get wet by anything. Hold on, I'll be right with you. I've been working on some really pretty. I'm going to show you a fast glance. Look at it. That's all you get to see. It's a teaser. That's what I call a teaser. Do you guys do teasers to anybody you know? I've been so busy. I've got a ton. I mean, literally a ton of other ideas for digitals. And some of them I will make. And some of them, you know, who knows what I'll do with them. Okay, let me get my little piece of, where did that go? I had a small thing, a double-sided tape. And of course, I'll have to get it off of this. Excuse me, guys. I'm going to have to get it off of my, my tape. Why is it when things are not? I think I just found the end of it. There it is. Oh my goodness. Not sure what the big deal was about that. But I was trying to get this off the roll over here. I have it on like a big tape runner. I have every size on a tape runner. It's like one of those giant industrial ones. And yes, the blade does cut you because I cut my finger really bad on it once. So I try to be super careful about that. So this time we're going to put a piece of double-sided tape on the back of the ribbon. You can also do this on the back, just on the surface, and put it on there. I just find it's easier to do it this way. I'm going to put it on here. Let's see. So I have a couple more of these to make. So I may do a part 2 because it looks like we're not going to be able to do more than 2. I just, you know, we need to have at least 4 ready for when the book starts so I don't get behind. I'll be using everything we make. Oh, come off of there. Seriously? Usually it comes right off the paper on the back side. There it goes. Finally. Making me frustrated a little bit. Okay, so now we want to, in this part, we want to make sure we have it straight. And I'm going to put the first one down here. Make sure and get it as straight as I can because it doesn't come back up. Got lucky. It's not perfect, but it's straight. You can see right there, it's, when you use double-sided tape, everything has to be correct before you let go of it because you're not going to be able to move it. Come on. Probably could have used 3, but we're just going to go with 2 rows. Now this time I think we're going to put a little gem on here. See if I have a blue one. I do. There's a blue. not that. These little shiny ones. I don't know where these came from. They came in a scrapbook kit I got a long time ago. So long ago, I don't even know who sent me the scrapbook kit. That's pretty bad. So they are kind of new though too at the same time. So you know, it might have been a long time for me, but they've been around for a while. I always recommend you put a little bit of glue on the back because I don't trust them. You know, I think that it needs to be a little bit of glue needs to be added. Yeah, just a little, hey, you know, just a little hello. Looks like I need my glue remover right there. How I missed that. All right, guys, this is number 2. And we are going to be out of time, but I'm going to hold up the other one. I think they turned out really cute. And I think I am going to do a part 2. And then we can move on to something different. So in the next video, I will do part 2. Because I'm going to just start it after this. And then we'll do some collaging in our altered book. And then we'll come back to some Christmas. I hope you guys enjoyed the video today. And if you did, please give me a thumbs up. And I will see you in the next video. Welcome, new subbies. I'm so glad that you've joined us here on my channel. Thank you. See you guys next time. Bye.